say where we're from, and some of the things you do.
Go ahead and start.
All right. I'm Miriam Smith, and I'm a community organizer, starting a chapter of Black Lives Matter in Seaside. And I have started my daughter Gertrude and I have started a initiative which is called Pause to Cause, and it's just to get people to think before they pick up the phone and just call the police for everything, and to use the resources in a better way by resolving things among themselves and by just making sure that they de-escalate things rather than rely on the police to do that. And also I work with ending mass incarceration, ending mass deportation, which leads me to working with the immigration issues in our county. And I am leading the effort for sanctuary cities in Monterey County, and I'm pumping up people to lead it in each one of the cities in Monterey County. Also, I am working on restoring justice, so restoring and transforming justice rather than creating harm, but rather reduce harm in our community instead of just always punishing and taking revenge out on when people make mistakes or when they do things that are wrong, because all of us do wrong. Then I'd like to let the next person say something.
My name is Gerald Morgan. I'm from Marina, California. I work for NEPA. I'm an outreacher. I reach out to people that don't really have a voice for themselves. I outreach to them to motivate them to speak out. And that's about it. Hey, Charles.
Hi, my name is Charles Earl. I'm Youth Leadership and Communications Organizer for MAPA. That's motivating individual leadership for public advancement. And I play a large role in the immigration reform and throughout Monterey County. We work with a lot of different organizations, in particular Building Healthy Communities, the Monterey County Labor Council, and we are working towards efforts towards changing policies around immigration. I just also want to give a big shout out to the city of Seaside for recently making Seaside a sanctuary city. So oftentimes people fail to realize that becoming a sanctuary city doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's safe and protected. They got to still remember that federal law enforcement can still come in and do things without any kind of direction or order by local law enforcement. So it's very important that folks know their rights around these issues. So, and also, which leads me to wanting to share with you an event that we have coming up on Monday, April 10th, and that's from 5:30 to 7:30, and that is led by the Monterey County Supervisor, Luis Alejo, and there's going to be a special guest by our California Attorney General, Xavier Becerra. This is the Salinas Know Your Rights Forum, and it's highly encouraged for community residents to attend this, have a sound understanding of what your rights entail. There's going to be discussions around your driver's license policies, child custody, just all the way around, just all your rights and resources, what's available to folks. So it's very important that everybody comes and attends and shows up for this.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joseph Delatore from Salinas, California, born and raised. I'm also a MILPA intern, also with, Sarah said, outreach. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Love Turner from Seaside, California. I've lived everywhere, almost, kind of, sort of. And I am, as you can see, we're all here for vision and change and community awareness. And one of the things that we know growing up, or a saying that was taught to us growing up, was it takes a village to raise a child. And now we're trying to get the community, we're trying to reach out into the community so we can start raising ourselves, raising awareness around us, and protecting us in our rights. My title is Run It Vision. I have one of my shirts on, sold out. The real big thing behind that is to be completely sold out to your vision, sold out to what you believe in. And as you can see, all of us sitting here talking, we are sold out to everything that we believe in. We are sold out to changing our community. We are sold out in the belief in knowing that we can change our community. It's not just about talking about it, but it's about us being active. And so that's what we're reaching out. That's what we're up here talking about, how active we can be, how we can be present in people's lives. And it starts with our children. It starts at home. The love starts at home and it spreads abroad. And we need to let people know that not just Seaside, but the Monterey County area is going to be sanctuary. The Monterey County area is going to be a safe place. The Monterey County area is going to be a safe place, not just for people who have things, but for people who are without things. Our homeless numbers have risen too much, and it's getting even worse because you have people, or I would say law enforcement, who are doing their job, and their job includes stopping you and giving you tickets. Now those tickets go to people who usually don't have the funds or usually don't have the people or the community helping them. And so here you find them not being able to show up to a court date. And when they can't show up to a court date, then they get warrants. And when they get warrants, they're arrested and they stay in the system. And so this is a recycling of things going on and happening because police officers are doing their job. And if the police officers are going to do their job in the community, we as residents, we as people who want to see things change, we need to start doing our job in the community. And that means helping each other out. Stop, how do you say, snitching, pause the cause. We got to stop because we ain't doing nothing but making things worse for ourselves, putting ourselves back into the system. We're making our names messed up. We got to stop snitching, first of all, and we have to do our job. And if that means that we have to constantly say the same things to you over and over again until you beat in your head, and then until it affects you, because sometimes a lot of people don't move, they don't get ready to do things, they don't become active until it happens to them. Something happens to them, something happens to their family member, something happens to someone they know. That's when they want to start getting active. That's when they want to start doing things. But no. We're talking about community. This is a community effort. This is not about ourselves. This is not about me and my family, me and mine. No, we're talking about community effort and being active and being in a community and doing things as a community together. So let me let somebody else talk because I can talk on.
So I just want to share, and then people can talk on this aspect. So the name of our group is Community for Unity, which Love so gracefully led us into. And what we do is empower the community, the people in the community. And one of the things that the topic today is to fight ICE raids. So one of the ways that we do that is we're not talking about literally fighting. We're talking about being present and being available to our community members. We're talking about being there and being legal observers when community members are being detained and when raids do happen. We're talking about being able to watch and verify and be supportive when once someone is detained, then we're people that come up to observe or be responders. Those people show up and support the family that's been left behind. There was a raid in Santa Cruz, and when they took the people, kids were left behind on the sidewalk. We don't want that to happen in our county. We want to be available. We want people to show up at the scene. We want people to show up and support. We want people to show up. Everybody's a part of the community. So we want people to show up as community members, volunteers, as rapid responders, migrant watchers, as solidarity people. We want them to show up and be available to support the community members, support our neighbors and our friends. So one important thing that will be good as tomorrow we're having a forum, we're having a training day. Training day will be where we're going to be talking about how will we do this. So we'll be talking about if you don't know your rights, you'll get a chance to come learn your rights so that you can share them. And we're going to be training leaders, groups, and teams of people to go out into the community and train other people. Their rights, and then it'll lead us into rapid response. The rapid response is, again, the migrant watch. Rapid response is, again, the solidarity training that we'll get. It's also a lot of people will call it, can't think of that right now, but anyway, we want to be available to be able to respond for whatever needs there may be out there in the community, and we don't want to back down from that. We intend to make sure that if ICE is going to be there, we want to make sure they know that somebody in the community is going to be there too, just to make sure the family or the person is being properly taken care of, properly done, that their rights. People don't realize that they have rights. They think that they have no rights if they're undocumented and in this country, but they have rights. And we want to make sure that they know they have rights, and other people, their neighbors, know that they have rights, and their neighbors care about them. So as a community working together for unity, this is our job. This is a part of what we do. We work together to make sure people are safe. And so this program today is talking about fighting ICE raids, but we're not literally talking about fighting it. We're literally talking about things that we should do as neighbors, we should do as individuals, as volunteers, to help support and to help document and get information for the people that are detained by ICE. Once we document and get that information, then we turn that information over to the family member of the person that might have been detained, so that they can have even a better legal representation. That's what legal observant is. It does not mean that we are people that are going to be lawyers out there, and we have a legal right to be lawyers and, and do what the police or what ICE might be doing, but we have a right to observe, and we will be there watching. All eyes will be watching out to see how our community members are treated, how our neighbors are treated, and how the people we care about and love are treated.
And let me add this. Sorry. Don't be afraid. One of the most crippling things that you can have is fear. Fear in not wanting to go up and record something when you see a police officer doing something wrong. Fear in not moving forward. Fear in not wanting to snitch. The good snitching, not the bad snitching. Fear in not wanting to speak up. Like she said, you have rights. One of your first rights is the ability to speak up. You can speak up. Let's stop being afraid to use our voice. Let's stop being afraid to speak when we see something happening. And fear, also not having fear to reach out and help. We're so scared to reach out to our neighbors. I don't know why. I have no idea why that's so hard for us. But we're so afraid of our neighbors. For some reason, I have no idea why. But one of the most crippling things that you can possess is fear. Stop having fear. You have to be able to speak up. You have to be able to document things. You have to be able to sometimes record. And sometimes you might have to have an active role, maybe step in between something, especially when we're talking about de-escalating things, pause the cause, when there's fights or things going on. Sometimes you have to have that fear, not have any fear, to step in and stop a situation. Because sometimes people just need a little help in stopping a situation. Sometimes they just need your words. Just say something and it'll stop doing what they're doing oftentimes. So we just have to stop having fear and not approaching situations and not addressing things. That's one of the biggest things that you can have. And I promise you, if you stop having fear, you'll be able to work in the community more. You'll be able to want to talk to people more. I don't even know if I can go outside without smiling and speaking to people and calling women and men beautiful all day, everywhere I stop, and giving a compliment. That's something that simple. But we definitely need to not have any fear. Just wanted to say that.
I think I just want to piggyback off of that. That's the mindset we really want to, uphold, and that's to organize, mobilize, and decolonize. And what that entails is to be conscious of really what's going on. And I believe long as our communities really stick together and, resist these things, this oppression that our communities are facing, we can't lose. Again, just going back to Seaside, sanctuary city. That was a great step. That was a great start
Like a
for
touchdown.
Monterey County. You know, I think
It was.
Monterey, they set the example. They set
They
the
did.
standard for Monterey County, you know, and, you know, it was very, I was just very thankful just for listening to how they was very open, all the city supervisors, how they was really mentioning about how they all came from immigrant families, you know. So, you know, they have a clear understanding of what migrant families actually bring to this nation, more so just what to this county, you know. They play a large, diverse role in our community, and it's very important that they're acknowledged and that they, you know, that we continue to raise this awareness to the community to stand up and continue to fight back. So.
Yeah, speak out.
That's amazing because I was thinking about Sanctuary City and Seaside and us winning that. I heard her say that that was like a touchdown. That was a real touchdown. And I want to say that everyone that voted for sanctuary cities in Seaside were from some sort of immigrant background. And it goes to show that we need to rally around and get people that care about people we care about to help support them, because the person that did not vote was not from that, did not have that story. And so a lot of times people that aren't connected to caring about other people won't support it, won't support you, and won't understand how to support you. So the only vote that did not vote was somebody that did not have a connection, did not have a reason to care in their minds. So, and I think that's really sad. So we have to really get around and lobby. And I did lobby that person a couple of times, and other people lobbied them and got back with me and let me know, but that person chose not to vote because they really didn't have a connection. So that's why it's really important after Seaside, especially after Seaside has become a sanctuary city, it's really important for us to have our rapid response training tomorrow. And it starts from 9 a.m. to 4:30 tomorrow. And it's important to have that training in Seaside, in the model city on the peninsula. The first city on the peninsula that became a sanctuary city, Soledad is the first city. I mean, we're not the first city in the county. We're the first city on the peninsula. Soledad is the first city in Monterey County to become a sanctuary city. And then Seaside is the second largest city in Monterey County, and it is the second city in the county to become a sanctuary city. But it's leading on the peninsula. It's the first one on the peninsula. Salinas is the second, is the largest city in our county, and they're patsying back and forth and dangling a bone with this court thing that they want to send up and join with court, but they're going to fight it in court, and they haven't even declared sanctuary cities. So it's just time for them to show their citizens, their community members, that they care, and show their residents that they care, and become a sanctuary city. Seaside has been like the model city, and they have been bold enough to step forward and do something that is going to make this county rise. And I think that having our program tomorrow to train people to their rights so that they can go into being legal observers, responders, rapid responders to whenever ICE is in our community. So then our neighborhood watch will be watching out for our community members. I think that's really important. But it's a real important thing is that we need to get around and talk to people that do not have any ties to an immigrants in the back, in their history or in their family. We need to talk to them and try to get them to understand that people are people, all people are human beings. There's no such thing as illegals. We hear that all the time. Illegal aliens. How does that sound? How does that sound? It sounds super crazy, right? These are human beings without papers. These are human beings that are undocumented. These are human beings, and at one time we came here before they started making laws. That's why I'm not too fancy about all these laws. We keep making ordinance and laws and rules for people to follow. And then you fall into it, but we hide you when you fall into it and you fall prey of it. But if I fall into it or the next person fall into it is not you, then you say, oh, there you go. Because right now, I won't go there, but, our country is kind of in this wishy-washy stage, because it's like, so, I'm not going to even go there either, but but I will say this much is that there are rules that people make for other people to follow, and they don't follow them very well themselves. And it's really unfair that this country initially was not anyone. If you're not a Indian, if your descent is not Indian, then you came into this country at one time as an immigrant. So we're all immigrants, either our foreparents or slaves. But we either our foreparents or someone. So now we come up with 100 years later, let's design or create some papers that people have to be in this country. It doesn't make them illegal criminals. If that's the case, everybody is. Just a paper changing a rule or a law now, we want to declare them a criminal. We're finding out that the laws and the rules that have been changed in the past have been unconstitutional, and we have to go back to treating people like human beings. And so this is what we're not moving from that. We're going to keep treating people like human beings. We're going to keep treating people with respect. We're going to keep treating people with dignity. We're going to keep treating people with love and honor. So we're not going to move from that. And we're asking community members everywhere to not move from that, to keep treating people, like you want to be treated.
And to piggy, go ahead, sorry. Oh, I didn't know if you were out. I feel like we're just going to keep piggybacking. But to piggyback off of what he said and what she said, we have to, rights and immigration, we have to also realize that we possess something that they don't have. It's unfortunate and it's fortunate. For us, we possess citizenships. We have social security numbers. We can do things that they can't do. It's things that they really want to do. Trust me, they out here. People are out here trying to get jobs and change and do things. But unfortunately, they can't do it because of the papers that they don't have. And you have to realize that ICE and law enforcement are literally putting fear in these people and terrorizing them. And if you don't know what it feels like to be terrorized and to have fear, just imagine a time in which you could not do anything and you were super crippled. Like, you wanted to do something, you wanted to achieve it, and you couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Imagine what that's like. Imagine the fear. Imagine that. Like, I don't think I ever want to be, I definitely never want to be put in that situation. I definitely don't want to be that unfortunate. But we've come to a place where the law isn't helping. The enforcers of the law aren't helping. No. Our president,
I don't want to talk about
I didn't even say his name. Jesus.
Oh, man.
They're not helping. So we're back to community.
Yep.
We're back to community. Like, our community has to help. We have to reach out. We have to have a heart. We have to care. If we don't care, we see who not really caring and how things aren't changing. They're just getting worse. So we literally have to care. Like, we have to. You want something to do?
Oh, for like me, I don't know, like, I just feel like, just like they've been saying, like, people just need to stick together. Like, if we don't stick together, then like a lot of families gonna be split apart. Especially you don't speak your opinion out and outreach to other people to get them moving, because a lot of people, they don't understand what's really going on right now. And I just feel like we just need to keep pushing. We got Seaside as a sanctuary city. We got to keep pushing. That's all.
Yeah. Use that as empowerment. To empower all these other cities to maybe just a great hope. The city of Salinas, comes around and comes with a decent resolution. But more importantly than these resolutions and these sanctuary cities is, again, ensuring to these migrant families, ensuring to the community that they're still going to have these resources that just anybody else has. They have the same healthcare resources. They still have all these, the resources for childcare, for employment. It's the only thing to do. It's the only right thing to do. You know, and by making it a sanctuary city, that's just a name. It's just a title. You know, it really is like it's. That's why I said it's very empowering. Just, you know, it's more than just words when Seaside stood up and actually made it a sanctuary city. You know what I mean? Because now you guys seen before that supervisors meeting, there was hundreds of people there that showed up to attend. There was hundreds of people, and you know. What did the city do? They came right out there. They listened to every single person. Till what time they get out of here? 11 o'clock, 11:45, was it?
12
Yeah. But by the time that meeting ended, man, you know, they need to come around. And I believe it's just empowering when you know you can walk down the street and you know your local government, you know, your community, everybody's on the same page. You know, you guys just that family, that embodiment of just community, you know.
We want to be a cult, but we definitely want.
And it's
Yeah,
kind of
but we want to keep that conscious vision alive, you know. That's the thing. That's what we do every day. That's what we advocate for, you know. And I think it's just important that it's just always acknowledged, you know. And again, which kind of leads me back to, you know, the know your rights forum. It's going to be in Salinas. Luis Alejo invites us all to come, so I encourage communities to come and show up. Our California Attorney General Xavier Becerra is going to be there, so you know it's very important that the community comes and shows up and just takes heed to everything that they can learn and contribute to the community by showing up. So, yeah.
I know, and the only thing I was going to say was, like, you know, I've been to a lot of city council meetings with you guys and stuff like that, and just to see the little kids, you know, speak up and how they tell everyone that how they fear about one day not coming home to see their parents one day. And, you know, it's kind of touching in a way to see little kids in fear. And I was just thinking about, you know, how would I feel if someone took away my mom and dad, you know, as a kid? You know, I'd be devastated. You know,
It's like the schools.
Yeah.
It's just like the schools. These kids are scared to go to school. They're not knowing if law enforcement is gonna show up at these schools. So that's another huge shout out to Hartnell Community College, which is now a sanctuary school in the community. You know, that's what we need. We need our schools, we need our churches, we need our community-based organizations. We need everybody to support this movement.
Yes.
You know, that's the most important thing that's going on. Like, we can't do this. It's not a one-man army. You know, we got to do this together. The community is what's important. Community is what's going to make change. Community is what's going to change these policies. You know, so yeah.
And every win is definitely not a small win, you know. Every win is definitely a big win. It's a touchdown. It's a Super Bowl ring. It's an NBA championship, okay? So, like, I didn't even know Hartnell was a sanctuary school. Thank God. Like, I didn't know that either. So this is why it's so important for us to show up to these seminars and to show up to these different events. I know we talk. I mean, we just talk y'all ear off. But the more you learn and the more you know, the more you can share, the more you can grow, and the greater understanding you'll have about your rights and their rights and what you can do to help. You'll never know just sitting around and never listening to anybody. Just like you'll never get a degree if you don't go to school and take the classes. So you're never gonna actually learn and know what to do until you get out there and you be a part of the things that we're doing. And there's so many things that we're doing in the community. When I was a kid, there was a lot going on in the community and it kind of just slowed down for years. And now things are being picked up, back up again in the community. It's really interesting to see that there's actually events that you can go to. Yeah. You know, oh my gosh, there's other things than the fair. I gotta wait every year. There's actually events that you can go to. When we have the Pause the Cause meetings, when we have, geez, our community thing that we have at
Let's
the
Get
Audemars
Active?
Center. Let's get active. Let's get active. We have our Let's Get Active things. It feels really good to see that we have things going on in the community, things that we can do, and things that we can help with. So,
Yeah, we want to make sure, we want to ensure these folks that are at the decision-making tables are in fully support of what the community wants.
right,
Yeah.
'cause they
You
sure
know.
don't show up, but they want to take the glory. What is up with
That's
that?
so
I don't
true.
understand
That's
that.
true.
They want to take all the glory, but they'll never show up. Like, I would mention something that, you know what? We're not going to name drop today.
Yeah. No name dropping, but we will. I will say that our effort to fight ICE raids are to create sanctuary communities now. We have Seaside as a sanctuary city, and now we're creating a sanctuary community. And I just want to share, we've launched this number, which is a hotline number, so that we have all eyes on ICE.
Yeah,
The
that's
community
right.
is watching,
Check it out.
watching out for ICE, and the community is able to say, you know, I see ICE here or there, and different people in the community will be able to go out and respond, verify ICE is there. They'll be able to go out, document what they see happening. They'll be able to go out and they'll be able to take pictures, and they'll be able to let people know, just so we can keep our community members safe, just so we can help protect each other. And just so we can start bringing people back together in a greater way of respect and love for one another, so that we can, you know, look out for each other. It's so important. We also have the Know Your Rights card, and the Know Your Rights card has been going around for a long time. And that Know Your Rights card is designed to let people know, whether you're documented or not, you're in the United States of America and you have rights.
Yeah.
You have a right to remain silent. Anything you do and say will be held against you, so you have a right. You don't sign anything. Don't sign no paperwork unless you're in front of your lawyer and your lawyer is suggesting you sign. Do not sign no paperwork. You have a right to not say a word. In the state of California, you have a right to not say your name if you are stopped walking. As of 2013, in November, there's a ID statute. We don't have an ID statute, rather. You can walk up and down the street and not be profiled. You have that right. And these are the things that are very important for people to know. You have a right to just say, am I free to go? 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 And not say a word. And if you're stopped driving a car, that's a little different story. But if somebody comes to your door, you have every right when they walk up to your door to not say a word. You have every right to not answer your door. It's your house. You on the inside. You safe in there. That's why it's important that we know that ICE shows up, so that if somebody is detained, that we're able to go and watch. So ICE will know that the community members care and they're watching. And the community members are documenting everything that they see going on, so that we know that the family will get the information that we documented, and to be able to use that for, in case they have been detained, for a legal defense if needed. So it's really important to turn up the, how do I say? I want to say turn up the heat on ICE, but ICE is turning up the heat on the people in the community. They're starting to now, I understand, want to target sanctuary communities, so sanctuary cities, right? So that's why it's important to become a sanctuary community, because if ICE is going to target you, let's give them something to target. Let's have our books out, our paperwork ready, because they will find out what's happening is unconstitutional sooner or later. And people are people, and we need to respect them as such. But right now, we need to be able to be available to our community members, and we need to show up. And we need to be willing to be trained. That's why tomorrow, the training that we're having is going to be so super important for people to really come out tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And from 9 to 12 is the Know Your Rights training, and from 1 to 4:30, it is the rapid response training, legal observer, letting you know what your rights are as a legal observer, letting you know what you do. And you know, we don't recommend that people get all up close. but they stand far enough back where they can hear and document everything that's going on. So there's a lot of information that will be given out tomorrow to be able to help your friends, your family, your community members, to help your neighbors. There'll be so much information given out, and this is free. This is all free. People, lawyers are coming down to train and teach people, and it's free. I've been trained. I'll be part of the teaching. There'll be other people that have been trained, and it's all free. Tomorrow, it is really important that we show up for our community members and be trained to be legal observers, to be rapid responders, and to be solidarity people in the community helping with community members. So I just want to I wanted to I wanted to reiterate that because it is no way we can live in this community, live next door to our neighbors this day and time, and not know who our neighbors are, or not get to know our neighbors, not even say hi or be friendly to our neighbors. This is how we're going to fight ICE raids from people coming in. The things that happen in Santa Cruz, I want to mention that bombs was thrown in the house, smoking up the rugs, tearing up things, and kids were in the house. Who does that kind of stuff? We need people around that can watch out for this stuff, that can monitor it. Because there is a level, if ICE come, we tell people, if ICE come, they have a warrant for your arrest, and it's signed by a judge, we tell them, don't fight, don't resist, you don't have to say a word, go with them, you know. But we don't want to show up to a place and ICE shows up and they're throwing everybody around, throwing them on the ground. And if we show up, then ICE are going to treat our community members better, you know. And we also we have sanctuaries in Santa Cruz, we have sanctuaries in Watsonville, we have sanctuaries in Salinas, we have sanctuaries in Seaside, we have sanctuaries in Monterey, and we're working on sanctuaries all over the Central Coast. So I want to say that we do have places for people to go for sanctuary as we continue to work with legislation, as we continue to work with change, as we continue to work with fighting how people are terrorized in our communities.
Just stand your ground, you know. Like even if you stand your ground and tell the law enforcement your rights, you're always gonna have that one law enforcement that's still gonna try to intimidate you still.
I think they God.
Yeah, I think they got it just because they wear a badge. But even if they try to intimidate you, stand your ground regardless, man. Like where they can, you know.
And don't be afraid to use this number. The government is not tapping it. We are the
Got
community.
nothing to lose but the chance.
Don't be afraid to use this number. Did you want to tell them where it's going to be at tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow it'll be at Ocean View Baptist Church, and it'll be for the whole day. So, and we will have breakfast in the morning will be served, and we will have lunch tomorrow. Tomorrow
We
morning,
motivated you with food,
between
you
1
all.
and 12 and 1.
So please come out. All right.
That was pretty good.
You want to say anything? Thanks for listening.
I just agree that our community should be stronger and just be out there and speak loud for themselves. But if not, we're here to speak for you.
Yep.
But we do need your support and everything. But yeah, it's like, yeah.
We want our community members to act normal, to not act scared, and to know that they have rights.
Yeah.
You know, you can just walk away. Am I free to go? Am I free to go? You don't have to be terrorized. If they don't have a warrant and can ID you, you know, you can just keep it moving. You just keep it moving. There's no reason for you to stop, no reason for you to entertain them. And please don't believe the lies.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't believe the lies. They will tell you, oh, because you did this, I'm going to have to take you now. If they're going to take you, they're going to take you. Ain't no because you did this. Ain't no because that person's watching. Ain't no because that person's videoing. It's not because that person's doing this, that, or the other. It's because they want to take you in the first place. They plan to take you. So we need to know, people need to know when you come out to this, tomorrow, the clinic, there will be a clinic where you could be able to ask questions to the attorneys and ask questions to the people that are helping. And then there'll be a clinic in the morning time, and then there'll be a clinic in the afternoon. And you'll be able to get some answers as to what's really going on here, what kind of rights do I really have, and you'll also be able to get information about attorneys that will be available to you. So, please do not be scared to come out of your homes. Do not be scared to send your kids to school. Do not be scared to go to the doctors to get health care done, and especially if you're stressing out. Try not to drink and drive. If you drink something, you probably better walk. And so that you don't get pulled over, because, even in Seaside, we're a sanctuary city, but there's a thin line between the criminal aspect and what may happen during that time. So if you end up in the Monterey County Jail, it's all on you, because your name goes through the system. You in that jail, and there's an ICE office in the jail. Well, he has a desk that he can bring his own computer to. How about that? Because I had a meeting with the sheriff, found out that he has a desk he can bring his own computer to. He's welcome in the county jail. And so when you have ICE welcome in the county jail and you end up there for some small thing, your name has went through a database system that everybody can get, including ICE. So you want to be careful not to get, these are ways that you can fight the raids, because you go to the jail, then next thing you know, they knocking on your door. But you want to be careful not to go to jail. Be careful not to get into trouble. Not that anybody should be discriminated against. Everybody gets in trouble from time to time, but it seems like these are the ways that we have to watch out for right now for our most vulnerable people in our community, is to say to them, be careful not to get into trouble, because everybody get in trouble sometime here and there. Everybody makes mistakes. Even the person that's arresting you, or that's detaining you, or that's harassing you, or that's terrorizing you, make mistakes, and they still do it. They just ain't got caught. And a lot of times these officers, if they make mistakes, they got caught, but ain't nobody telling. So, we have to say, be careful.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, we have more, a little bit more time. It's okay, though.
Okay.
It's, we'll have to, you put your, you already talked about,
It's flyer.
your flyer. And we already talked about.
Or you guys can go to rentitvision.com and buy some shirts. Sold out is $18.
So this show is about resistance, and we're just resisting hate is what we're doing. Resisting bitterness, resisting hate, and we're doing it in a loving way, because we're teaming up. I mean, Melpa has their own group. There's all kinds of teams. There's the Indivisibles. There's the all types of teams that we can find in Monterey County that are teaming up to resist hate. That's what it's all about. Resist hate anywhere, anytime, and any place. And I just want to encourage people to find a team, join a team, but be a part of the resistance when it comes to resisting hate and unconstitutional agendas. Be a part of that. Don't just sit back and wonder and try to figure it out. Even if you move from one group or one team to another until you find your place, join a team, join a group, be a part of the resistance. Be a part of the change that's going to happen, and it's going to happen through you. It's going to happen through, does anybody in the audience have anything they want to say? Let me see the back. You have a question?
What's that young
Yuri.
lady that was on the?
Yeah, she's the one for Univision.
No.
Any questions?
Any opinions?
Any,
People do not like being put on the spot.
I know.
But they want to be
But we-
famous.
Say something.
So Chunks,
Wait, what?
so the things that you're doing, what, you're leading the effort of Sanctuary City for,
Oh, you don't have any more
Salinas?
things going on?
No, we ready. This is,
are we gonna be showing up again for Salinas, Sanctuary City? Is it gonna be on the agenda?
so currently, I don't know the exact date, but I do believe it is going to be brought back on the agenda. There's lots of discussions from what
Around
I'm
it.
hearing. I haven't got a solid date or a solid answer on that. So, I'm going to refrain from putting any kind
Giving you too much
of propaganda online. So, but yeah, again, I just want to thank you, Miriam. I want to thank you, Love, and Gerald, and
Thanks for being brave enough to come up here
Joseph.
and sit down. in the chair.
To really, just for everybody to just come up and just speak this truth to power. This is what it's about.
That's
Like,
right.
if we don't speak up and if we don't do something about it, it's like we're just, it's not, that saying, if you don't, what is it? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
You'll fall for
Yeah.
anything.
You know.
I want to share the agenda. I was going to share, we have, for tomorrow, we have Michael Muir from Santa Cruz. He's an immigration attorney, also does criminal aspects. He'll be there tomorrow. He'll be talking to us about Know Your Rights. We also have Doug I messed up his name, but Doug from Santa Cruz, and he'll be there tomorrow. And he works out of the Watsonville Center, and I would love to get the agenda. I should have had the agenda up here with me. Sorry about that, y'all. But he'll be here tomorrow, and he'll be talking to us. And we also have Luis Angel from Oakland, California, will be coming to us, talking to us about rapid response. And they created a Migra Watch, and it's just to go out, and people are dispatched out to look out for what ICE might be doing, how ICE might be treating our community members. And if someone is detained, they get information to be able to present it. So they're one of the leading groups in the Monterey, in the northern part of California. LA has a program in that part, in the southern part, but they're the leading groups in the northern part. So they'll be doing the training. I've already had training done myself from them. I think they do a great job. I've been trained myself to train trainers to go out and do this. And so what we want to do is we just want to become a sanctuary community. That's one of the biggest and most important things that I see needs to happen in every city in America, until every city in America is saying, no, we're not going to have you mistreat our community members.
Yeah.
We're available, and we're ready, and we're watching. And that's the whole thing. When people are watching, people treat other people better.
Yeah.
When people are watching, people have a tendency to not make the mistakes, And sometimes people get hurt, sometimes they don't. But most of the time when people are watching, people don't get hurt as much. And we want to be available, watching. So I'm inviting people to come out tomorrow to Ocean View Baptist Church in Seaside, California. And that address is 1200 Amador Street, Saturday, April the 8th. And that is tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll do registration and breakfast, and we should start our program right. We do from registration and breakfast from 9 to 9:30, and then our program is over at 4:30. So the attorney will probably do question and answers at the end. But the important thing is people have a lot of questions, and if you're in the church, it's a sanctuary church, so you really don't have to be worried about in churches. I just want to let you know there's several places that are sanctuaries, so people that are undocumented are safe in sanctuary churches. And all churches are a sanctuary where ICE cannot come into. But if you come to the church tomorrow, we have the clinic from in the morning, we'll have a clinic for about an hour, and then in the afternoon, we'll have a clinic for about an hour. So if you come to the program, it'll be a really good thing for people that have a lot of questions and information that they need.
Again, one more time, I just want to, following that event, Monday, April 10th, we're going to be having this Salinas Know Your Rights Forum. We have special guest California Attorney General Xavier Becerra that's going to be there. It's going to be Monday, April 10th at 5:30. It's over at 7:30 at Jesse G. Sanchez Elementary School in Salinas. That's 901 North Sanborn Street, Salinas, California, 93905. And for more information, please feel free to call 831-755-5011.
Let's not just talk about it, let's be about it and show up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Be about it and help our neighbors. Yeah.
Right,
Stand your ground.
that's right.
See some weather. Yep.
Nope, that's it. Anything else you want to say?
So, if no one has anything else they want to add, anybody have any questions? You have any questions?
Well, actually, do any of you speak Spanish?
No.
For any of you, I was listening to everything that you said, but I was interested in doing an on-camera interview just to have you with the mic. It might be some of the stuff they've already said, but would any of you be interested in, it could be in English.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we're just filling in right now.
Oh, okay. Oh.
For the last 4
She's
minutes
gonna
or
ask.
whatever, but I just was.
You can ask your questions if you want to do it now, or you want to wait.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, she's gonna do that in a minute.
Yeah.
So, anybody have some good stuff? Well, come on, you guys, because we're here, we got time.
Yeah, but
I mean,
we're
we can
done.
shut it down, but
Yeah, let's
we
shut
got
it down.
time
Let's shut
and
it down.
everything,
Let's shut
so,
it down, man.
you know. Okay, so everybody's ready? Well, okay, well, we
Have
just
good
thank you for
edits. Have some
listening
good
to us
edits.
today and tuning in. And we're just glad to be able to share what we're doing in the community. Everybody here are warriors, so they're all working because they love their community members, so that's a good thing. And he has a shirt on that says, schools, not prison. And our next show will be talking about the movie that, we'll be talking about schools, not prisons, and we'll be talking about the movie that where 3 Latino boys were sent to prison, juvenile, and they were sent to adult prison. And they put a movie, they did a documentary together, and that is called, They Call Us Monsters.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that, our next show. That's what it's going to be about. And we'll be talking about how the $3.4 trillion was spent on the prison industrial complex in the last 30 years. It was a mistake. That's a $3.4 trillion mistake that was spent on the prison industrial system. So I just want to share, we'll be talking about that. Our next show, tune in to us on Friday, the first Friday of April. No, we're in April, May. And that's what we'll be talking about, ending mass incarceration, ending mass deportation.
Yeah, okay.
The more people we have, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
you keep
invite
it
your
away.
friends, please come and show up in the audience.
Friends, family, you know.
Okay.
I see that red light. Isn't that red light cut off?
Yeah, you are.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're done.
Are we good?
Good, thank you guys.
Yes. Good to get, yeah.
Thanks for having me on this
I
show.